So we were to start off, I guess, by telling us a little bit about yourself and your identity in terms of Two-Spirit, I guess.
Osio, Chanuste, Hudson Tibbs, Toa, East Chalakis, Chi Aniuia. My name is Hudson Tibbets. My first name is Chanuste, which means Johnny. That was my dad's name. And he was part Eastern Cherokee. And I'm Delaware Nanticoke through my mother. And I'm white. Both my parents were mixed blood.
Okay. And how do you identify in terms of like Two-Spirit, I guess?
I do identify as Two-Spirit. Initially, I identified myself as a gay man. I'm 61 years old. I grew up in the 70s. When I came out, though, I was raised in my childhood with a concrete, fundamental familiarity with my native heritage. So initially, I thought that all the harassing from other kids was because I was part native, but that wasn't the case. It was because I was apparently gay. So once Two-Spirit, that term was coined, I felt that it really adequately applied to me because I've always had a good sense of the feminine part of me and the masculine part of me. And I think I described it perfectly within a native context.
So you kind of touched on it, but I think it would be great if you can elaborate, I guess, what Two-Spirit means to you.
What Two-Spirit means to me is it's a combination of energies, of feminine and masculine, each one to different degrees, and they manifest themselves through a person that is native or knowledgeable about their indigenous roots. It's different from LGBT in that it's not just a sexual orientation or a gender identity. Two-Spirit ties you to the land, if that makes sense. It ties you to nature. LGBT people, as I was growing up, the LGBT people that I knew were white, and that symbolized to me a whole different ideology, which was very materialistic, wherein profit and the dollar was worshipped, kind of like today. And I just didn't feel that connection. I felt more connection to the earth and to nature and to the stories that I was told as a child.
How do you I guess can you speak on like the complexities of like identifying as Two-Spirit while also I guess identifying as white, like you just said, in terms of like, because like Two-Spirit is a very native identity. Can you speak on that, I guess, like how that works for you, I guess?
I would probably, in today's world, I would probably look at it as that being mixed race offers certain advantages. You can take what works and discard what doesn't work. So because I was raised with the stories of my people, but in a white society and a white environment, again, I could pick and choose my values. And as I grew older, I became more conscious of that. Sometimes it becomes a daily decision when you're looking to purchase something, for example. I guess the white part of me would say, oh my God, that's so attractive, I love it, I want it, I want to have that. I want to look at it every day. And the native part of me would say, do you need it? Is it essential? You know, how is it going to be useful in your life? So I'm not sure if that answers your question. It's kind of a dichotomy. So again, when you're bicultural, you can pick and choose what works for you.
So that works for you. Okay, well, that's great. Can you mentioned a little bit earlier before the interview about testifying for Indigenous Peoples Day. Can you talk about, I guess, what led you to like testifying and then actually like testifying? Like,
Absolutely.
yes.
Yeah. I'm very in tune with the topic of removing the name Columbus Day. I was born on October 12th, Columbus Day, 1956. And when I was in elementary school, we always had to do something related to Columbus Day. But it's at that time my dad started telling me, let me tell you the truth about Columbus, about the oppression, about the slavery, about disease, about the lies, about the doctrine of discovery. And I'm the kind of person who would rather deal with a hard truth and work through that than deal with a lie and then have to deal with a lie and then you still have the hard truth to deal with. So when I look at Columbus Day and what it's supposed to represent, it's really a falsehood. I don't like lies. I don't like oppression. Much like my colleague here spoke, I have a voice now. I do consider myself now an elder. I have a voice. I have something to say. I have opinions, and I have a degree of wisdom that I've accumulated under my belt. Columbus Day should never have been that. I'm so excited now that minority people, starting with blacks, then Chicanos, then LGBT, and now Two-Spirits, were able to raise our voice, call out the lies, reduce oppression, and take pride in our traditional ways.
Thank you. I guess so. So how does that lead into, I guess, you testifying for?
Yeah, when I heard that the city council was open for review for public opinion by the people of the county of Los Angeles, I should say the city of Los Angeles, I had plenty to say about how that Columbus Day has no place, really. Italian Americans have contributed to this country. Columbus did not. So if we're going to get it straight, let's obliterate the lies and let's take it for what it was. There was nothing celebrating Indigenous people. Other minorities that had come to this continent had their days of celebration. We did not. We were oppressed and forgotten until someone speaks up. And I felt compelled to speak on that.
Okay, so I think we're going to move a little bit towards cats. Cats? Okay, cats. And so can you tell me, I guess, what cats is and like the motivation you would say behind it being formed and founded?
And a little the history.
Yes.
Some of us belong to an organization called Red Circle Project, which was HIV, predominantly HIV prevention related. And we were talking about something that would be socially uniting, something that would not be exclusive to Two-Spirit or LGBT Native Americans, something that would draw in allies and bring attention to Two-Spirit people. Predominantly, though, not in a political way, but in a social way. I believe that this group exists, for the most part, for personal support. We all know each other by first names. We talk to each other on the phone. We're in tune with what our successes are, what our sadnesses are, and we're there to basically support each other and hold each other up.
Can you talk a little bit about
Or maybe when CATS was founded, what does it stand for? What does the acronym stand for?
Oh, CATS, the acronym stands for City of Angels, Two-Spirit Society. I came up with the idea of a Two-Spirit Society in Los Angeles because there were several across the country. And the first Two-Spirit gathering I went to was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I went to maybe 5 consecutive annual gatherings of them. I've been to the ones in New York. I've been to them pretty much all over the country. And what appealed to me was how you could bring a group of people that have common suffering together to build each other up, to become successful and well-adjusted in the face of discrimination.
Can you tell us where and when the meetings take place? Also, can you describe what usually happens? What usually is what usually happens in these meetings?
And the activities, meetings and activities?
Yes.
Yeah, it's very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not highly structured. We used to meet on a monthly basis, but because people have several jobs, some people don't have any jobs, transportation issues, there were a lot of logistical problems. Now it's almost ad hoc. We did meet together at one of our members' house, Henry, who is Cayuga, for a holiday celebration. These our gatherings or meetings usually begin with a prayer with smudging, and followed by food, and we talk about our ups and downs, and then anything current that applies to LGBT or Native Americans in Los Angeles.
And maybe you could share that we used to meet at UAI.
Yes, we used to meet at United American Indian Involvement. They're still opening that space for us, but like I said, because of logistics, it's difficult to get people together on a consistent basis. We tried Long Beach, meeting in Long Beach for a while, and again, because of the logistics, and personally it took me once 2.5 hours to get down there, which was just unfortunately not doable. But there are so many pockets of Indigenous people throughout this county, and it's so large that we would love a system of tying everyone together in a convenient way. And I don't mean media, because media is so, like Facebook, it's impersonal. There's nothing like talking, getting together, face to face, sharing food. Yeah.
Do you think the contemporary urban community that the Two-Spirit and those who identify in that range, do you think that the where they live and where we live in this urban setting, do you think that plays a role in their identity at all? Something like that? I'm not sure. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, maybe for you, Hudson, since you've been to so many Two-Spirit gatherings, have you noticed a difference between urban Two-Spirit folks and people who live in tribal or reservational context?
Yes. Yeah. In Tulsa, people were spread apart, but it's much easier to convene. People have pretty much set work schedules. Even though the driving distance can be extreme, there's so little traffic, it's so much easier. Plus, they seem to be through kinship and friendships, they seem to have closer ties than here in an urban area. In urban areas, we have the demographics and the geography is not really conducive to people meeting in groups for anything. And we also have all the distractions going on here.
Where do you see the CATS organization going in the future? It's because you spoke about how it was a little more a monthly basis, it was a little more organized, and now it's not so structured. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
so where do you see that going in the future then?
it's hard to plan or strategize where it's going to go in the future. I think it's going to continue to be very informal and relaxed. It does take a little more effort on the part of leadership to reach out and keep people engaged, which I don't have a problem with. Where it's going to go from here, I honestly don't know. I know that a few Two-Spirit societies that were very large have undergone some significant changes. The Two-Spirit Society in Tulsa right now is defunct because of personality clashes and differences in where people want it to go. So again, I would like to keep it as simple and as informal as possible, keep the lines of communication open for support, and occasionally we do outings as they arise. They're not too frequent, but we've been to the Autry Theater for Native Voices for several performances there. And
We sponsored our
oh,
person and went out.
yeah, when one of our members is engaged in something that's important to them and it's related to Native American Two-Spirit, we aggressively encourage them and back them and support them in any way we can, either it's through publicity or financial or whatever we can do.
Would you be able to talk a little bit about the structure of the leadership that was both male and female? Or the intention that we tried to have behind that?
Yeah. So when we were planning what would the leadership of CATS look like, of course a lot of men stepped up, but we wanted three things in here. We wanted a Two-Spirit presence, meaning Native American LGBT, but we also wanted a feminine component, and we wanted an ally component to come in. An ally is somebody who is LGBT or Two-Spirit friendly, so to speak. They may not identify as that, but they are supportive of the values and practices. So those were the three things that we wanted. We ended up, well, we actually got, we still have, we didn't get as much as we wanted, but we still have allies involved, like Rachel. And we still have a good size feminine component to this. Because again, when you're picking and choosing, you want to pick the best that's going to work.
So I
Is
kind
there
of,
anything you want to add that we haven't asked, or anything